Hey guys, in the last video we built our Shoutbox interface and we also created a database called JS Shoutbox in phpmyadmin. So in this video what I want to do first is connect to our database through PHP. Alright, so we need to go ahead and open up the database.php file. And this is actually very simple. If you have no experience with PHP whatsoever, that's fine. We're not going to be doing too much here. All right, this will actually just be a couple lines to connect to the database. So in PHP, you always have to start out with a PHP tag, which is the less than sign, a question mark, and then PHP. And to end your PHP, you want to use a question mark and then the greater than. Okay, and you can use this in any PHP file, and you can also use HTML. All right, you don't want to use HTML in here, but you can use it outside of the PHP tag. And usually, a lot of developers won't even have the closing tag if it's all PHP. You don't need it. All right, so what we're going to do first is we need to connect to MySQL. Alright, so I'm going to create a variable. In PHP, your variables have to begin with a $sign. I'm going to create a variable called con for connection and set that to mysqli underscore connect. Alright, now in this function we're going to pass in a few parameters. The first one is going to be the host name. In most cases this will be localhost. If you're using XAMPP like I am, then use localhost. If you're using a web server, chances are it's localhost, but if it's not, then you want to talk to your hosting company and see what you need to do. The next one is going to be the database username. In my case is root. Now if you just installed XAMPP, then your database doesn't have a password. Alright, I actually should have went over that, and let me actually show you real quick. If you installed XAMPP and you go to just localhost, it's going to take you to localhost/XAMPP. Alright, now what you want to do is give your database a password. So we want to click over here on security. Alright, and then on this link here. And then what you can do is for your MySQL, by default, has a user called root. So that's what you're going to use. And then you just want to put a password in here. You won't have this current password field. That's just because I already have one. So you want to put your password, repeat it, and then just click password changing. And then you'll have a password, which you want to type in here. Okay, so this is mine. I don't really care if you see it because it's just a local database. And then finally you want the name of the actual database, okay, which in our case is JS Shoutbox, and this should be in quotes. Okay, so that's a connection string. So to test it, we can create an if statement, and we can use a special function, mysqli connect slash or dash errno. Okay, and that should have parentheses after it because it's a function. So you're going to test for that, and if you're not connected, then you want to, in this case I'm just going to echo out failed to connect, and then I'm going to just concatenate the error message from MySQL. Oops. Okay, so we need that. In JavaScript you concatenate with a plus sign. In PHP it's a dot. Okay, so dot MySQLi, same thing, connect, and it's going to be error. Okay, so this function will tell you exactly what happened, whether your password was wrong or something like that. Alright, and I should spell failed right. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now, we need to be able to access our database inside of our index file and our Shoutbox PHP file. So what we need to do is include it in those files. Okay, so in the index PHP, we're going to go up at the top before any output, before any HTML, and we're going to open up PHP tags, and we're going to include our database files. So we can say include database.php. Okay, end it with a semicolon and then close your PHP tags. Alright, so that'll just include the file in here. Alright, so let's save this, and I want to try and go to Shoutbox. Alright, so we don't have any errors or anything, and that's a good sign. Alright, so let's go back in the database file and mess something up. Okay, so we'll just add an extra A on this password, and we'll save it, and then we'll go back and reload. Now you can see we're getting our error message. Okay, access denied for user root. Okay, so basically it's just telling us that our password is wrong. Alright, so let's go ahead and change that back. Okay, and now you should see no error messages. So that's how you connect to a database using PHP. Alright, so in the next video we're going to build up the JavaScript file. We need to make a post request to the shoutbox.php file, which we haven't created yet. And then that file will do the actual insert into the database. Alright, so we'll do that next.